Hey everybody, welcome back to HitPoint, a JRPG news show, an anime news show, a niche news show, a show where Baku and I will talk about trailers, preview some rumors. We'll be, I think, doing the opposite of those things. We'll be talking about rumors, previewing trailers, talking about anything and everything that gets us hyped, and we are hyped today for all kinds of exciting news. We stream live every Sunday evening at not every Sunday evening, but most Sunday evenings at 7 p.m. Central, 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Oh, we'll be answering.
Lying to people, I see. Okay.
We'll be answering questions and comments from super chats during today's stream at the end of the episode. Baku, buddy, how you been? Good to see you again.
Yes, I was sick last week and I had to catch up on a lot of schoolwork. So apologies to everyone who waited for the show for last week. But I think you'll find comfort knowing that you pretty much didn't miss much. I've combined 2 weeks worth of like material into a single show, and I looked at them like, wow, okay, so this is like one episode.
No. We've got a huge episode ready for you this week, everybody. You're gonna be so excited about all the crazy news we got to talk about. I'm extremely excited. But Baku, actually, so I think that was one half of the equation. Was your homework, but you were also under the weather last week as well.
Yes.
And I will say that when I did post to my channel to let everybody know in the community section that we were a bit delayed, you got so many well wishes. A lot of people were
that was crazy. And thank you so much, guys.
It was like a Save Ferris kind of thing. If you ever seen Ferris Bueller's Day Off, like, oh my God, Baku's like in a hospital. I saw him pass out at 31 Flavors the other night. So no, it was great.
Yeah. No, I think the schoolwork really sunk me in. I'm like, oh God, I'm sick and have to do this essay. I was dying. I'm like, I don't think I can do the show. Yeah.
Well,
I did do my homework, but I sounded so messed up that it wouldn't have been great for me to be on camera. Yeah, talk about days, and so yeah, thank you again for all the well wishes, folks. I really appreciate it.
Yep. And thanks to you guys lending him your energy. He's back at it today. So it's good to have you back, buddy. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Yeah, I know I got the spirit bomb. I was just like standing there T-posing on my bed, just like gathering all the well wishes into me.
Yep, gathering that Genki Dama.
I had a Goku moment, and it lasted 2 episodes.
Oh man. So Baku, what have you been up to? I guess you've been working on a lot of classwork. Have you been streaming this week at all?
I'm finally back on a regular stream schedule. Like I started off this semester kind of rough. I had to play a lot of catch up. And I spent a lot of days just not able to stream because I just realized that there's another essay to write. Like what? Yeah. No. Doing my master's right now for anyone who does not know. And it's just a lot of papers this semester, these classes. But I'm finally caught up. I now am back on a regular stream schedule. You can find me on days that aren't Mondays because that's my night class day. So I think like Tuesday through Friday are pretty game for me to play games over at twitch.tv/Baku-san JRPG. Right now I'm currently playing a game that actually isn't a JRPG, but it's still a really good one called Ida File Nirvana Initiative. It's a sci-fi murder mystery. Super cool. Love the story. Can't wait to see to the conclusion. How about you, Derek? What you been up to?
Well, before that, I have a really important question to ask you.
Yes.
When you get your master's, we're gonna have to change your name to Baku-sama JRPG?
That's when I get my PhD.
Baku-sensei PhD.
Dr. Baku. Can I read? I would never get a PhD. Never. No, never. Oh boy, no. I'm done with school. The day that I went back to for the first class, I'm like, why am I doing this to myself? There's a reason why I was glad to be done with school. Why am I back? Why are you doing this to yourself? It's too late now. I'm like halfway through, so
All right. So
Yeah.
I guess we'll wait to update your honorifics for a time being, I suppose. We might
I'll
get
take
there.
Baku-sama any day.
Okay, okay. Well, getting back to your question about me, what have I been up to this week? Well, my heart rate has returned to normal. I think during the last week we talked about the crazy blow up of that weird episode.
Mhm.
It has finally come to a conclusion. It is no longer blowing up, which is great. We have another episode that is
Wait,
slowly.
why is it great?
I
Don't
mean,
you
I
want
mean,
it to just keep blowing up?
yeah. I mean, but it's one less thing like stressor in the back of my mind, you know. But
Okay.
But there is another
Mhm.
episode that is starting to gain some traction, and it is our
Oh,
second most longest episode of the JRPG Weekly
what?
yeah, the hit point episode. It was the one where we were talking about the new Armored Core. It was like 2.5 hours long, and now that one is starting to gain. It's nowhere near what it was for the other, but it's slowly
Right.
starting to gain some more traction, and it's just weird. And I've come to the conclusion that our viewers just like them long. You know, I think that is probably just what, and that's why we're going to have a super extra long one just for you guys today, right, Baku?
How,
You got
how
this,
about how about how
you
about
got
the
the stamina
girth?
today for.
How about the thickness of the show?
I mean,
Talk about the show.
the content,
Yes, the
sure.
content.
Uh-huh.
Like
Yeah, the
lots
content.
of
You like it
content.
hot and heavy, sure.
Yes.
No, but seriously, I think that maybe that's part of it. Is the algorithm or something just lends itself well to our longer episodes getting a little extra attention from people. And
No,
you know,
I
I'm
think
okay with that.
there's a lot of validity to that because, I mean, obviously but for those who don't know, there's almost like an unspoken rule with the algorithm to try to get your regular non-live stream videos up to about 15 minutes or over. Too short and the algorithm doesn't really pick it up. It's almost like there's this like algorithm god that favors you when your videos is longer than 15 minutes. So
Yeah,
what the thinking is that for live content, it's something like 2+ hours, maybe.
yeah.
Yeah.
So maybe that's what we need to aim for is even more Baku and Derek.
Yeah.
Well, we'll see
Mr.
what we
Invalid likes it long, apparently. So
you
let's
know.
just
That's
note it.
cool. Noted.
Noted.
We'll just tuck that one away for later. So I have another update for you guys also because
Yes.
last week, not last week, but the week before last was the last week in which you could get the super cool Super Derek Earthbound inspired hoodie, and
Yes.
so I wanted to just send a quick update. The hoodies are done being printed.
Ooh,
Uh, I finished making all of the scratch and sniff stickers. I designed them all myself and I put them all out
nice.
there. They're vinyl cut stickers, by the way. They are super cool.
Ooh.
They are scratch and
That's
sniff.
premium.
Yeah. I mean, and they're
Wow.
homemade also.
And
So
they're homemade.
it took like a couple of days to actually do it all. Anyways, I'm just excited to have that done. I think it'll be a while before I ever offer my own homemade scratch and sniff stickers again. Uh,
But but you worked out the process, right? Like you're gonna
oh yeah,
manufacture these now.
yeah. Believe it or not, the weird thing is like the process has to be I actually have to do a little bit of silk screening. You know, if you're ever familiar with like silk screen or screen printing, essentially, that's what all the shirts and everything are silk screen printed. But I had to, in order to distribute the scent, the scratch and sniff scent over the stickers, right? That also has to be silk screened. Otherwise, it just like smears all of the inks and everything. So it's like a protective layer. It's a whole thing that I had to learn how to do. So
Hmm.
yeah, yeah. Anyways, it worked really well, and I'm super excited to see the final product. Now I did have some other news before we dive into to other stuff, but that is a quick update about my streams. Is that we're changing up the stream schedule over on Twitch. So now
Schedule.
yep, when you find me over at twitch.tv/SuperDerekRPGs, we'll be starting at 7 p.m. Central instead of prior it was 6:30, but now we're going at 7.
Hmm.
We had been ending up around like 10, but I'm
Hmm.
switching that up so that we're going to be playing through till midnight most nights in order
Wow.
to help me get through a few more games a bit more quickly as we, dive deeper into the Trails series. And I think it's going to be something that we try to maintain for a while. So, if you're one of those people who likes your streams nice and long, make sure you check out Super Dark RPGs
What a rebel. Look
on
at you.
Twitch. And then finally, just because I haven't been doing enough with my life, I decided I was going to start up another YouTube channel. And it has, not to brag, it has about 10 subscribers so already, and and the reason I'm talking about it here is because it's my HitPoint Clips channel, which is basically for everybody who
Hey.
doesn't have 2 to 4 hours. Apparently we go up to 4 hours, 2 to 4 hours of time to spend watching HitPoint. You can now catch some of our, at least, like, diversions and rants that we'll go on from time to time. We'll be throwing those over into the HitPoint Clips channel. I'll have a link in the description later on, but if you search for HitPoint Clips, you'll probably find it. We've got 4 videos up already.
Oh, 4 videos.
4 whole clips,
4 whole clips.
Yeah, so check that out if you would like to, catch up on some of the Baku and I's antics without necessarily catching up with all of the news. So that about covers it for all of my crap.
That's that. Yes.
I'll let somebody else do some talking here for a minute. So Baku, what would you say is today's top headline?
They're coming for your waifu pillows.
They're what?
They're coming for your waifu pillows.
Man, that's crazy. Well, hey, you know what? It is about time we also respond to some of the comments that we got last week. So I'm going to be talking again here for a minute or two. Because we got a question here from Gary Damararu. Damaramu.
I even typed that out in Romanji for you to read.
I know you did. You did. I know. See, that's the problem.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't realize this, but I never learned how to read anyway. So, all right, this is a response pertaining to my comparison, my analogy last week when I said that Japanese RPGs are like an English breakfast, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like you can make them anywhere. It's about the ingredients and the execution rather than where you are when you make it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, so here's a comment where somebody decided to contradict me on my own show. Jeez, he says,
"How dare they?"
He says, "Hi, Derek and Baku. I love your show and watch it every week from the UK. I would like to say, and Derek, you didn't completely get it wrong, but bangers and mash is not added in the traditional UK breakfast. It usually consists of sausages, bacon, hash browns, beans, or tomato and mushrooms. Oh, and toast and sometimes fried bread. The whole bangers and mash thing is very outdated in our country and was more so used in like the 60s, 70s, and 80s. But I have not heard bangers and mash used in a very long time. I'm not complaining in any way, guys. I'm just informing you on the full English breakfast. And you're totally right. I even noticed this as I was saying it, because I was like, what? Because I'm no Englishman. I don't know if you noticed that.
In case you haven't noticed.
But as I was like trying to I was like, oh yeah, I could name off stuff that's in the English breakfast. There's beans and there's eggs. Sure. I'm sure there's eggs, right? And then I know that like for sausage, they call them bangers. I'm like, yeah, bangers. That's a thing, right? And then it's like, what goes with bangers? Mashed potato. Is that it? Anyway, so I'm like, I'm halfway through saying bangers and mash. And you can probably hear like a slight hesitation in my voice because I'm like, that's wrong. I already know it's wrong, but I'm committed. I gotta ride this through, and I just gotta poker face my way through this one.
Yes, fake it till you make it.
But hey, you know what? We have viewers, international viewers. We are worldly people, you and I, and those viewers, They could smell a bad
Ready
English
and waiting
breakfast
to correct you in
all
any
the
second
way.
now.
No,
They
no,
got
no.
their
I
fingers on
deserve
the
this.
keyboard. They're like, come on, say it, Derek. I'm
I
gonna comment now. Fun
I
fact,
deserve it. I deserve it. But hey,
between the two of us, I'm the more Brit of the two. It's true. I
yeah,
had a British passport. It is a thing.
that is a thing that happened.
That is the thing that happened.
So, anyways, thank you for the correction there.
Thank you so much.
You know, I'm playing it up, but honestly, yeah, that was a pretty egregious error on my part.
I think it's fun. So and also thank you for watching us every week from the UK. We appreciate you.
Heck yeah.
Next up, we got Mr. Dark Soul, who said, I'm honestly very excited for Relink to come out, mainly because so far only me and a friend have been talking about regularly. Are probably the only ones out of my circle of friends who are excited for the game. And from what I've seen recently, it's looking to be a very, very fun RPG. Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more. And as I've kind of said a couple of times, I think this is going to be like the legacy, what is it called? Platinum Games RPG, because this was still, I mean, it's not out yet, but whatever they have done on their part, the action gameplay that's done prior to this new like management of Platinum Games, which gave us the notable games such as Babylon Fails. That's from the new management of Platinum Games.
Yeah. But this is
Bayonetta.
This is like a time capsule, basically, of older Platinum Games development style before it was corrupted, you know, by the by the dark ones.
Yeah, Bayonetta 3 is also one of such games. So if you, I mean, say what you want about the story and what have you, but the battle system, like that fluid action, that's all from like the old style Platinum Games. They're a live service company now, apparently, so whatever that means. So we'll see what once great Platinum Games is now gonna make you stay on a server and play games and give them monthly, contributions to keep playing. That's the future. So anyways, yes. We're very, very excited for Relink. That's the takeaway. So. Very excited.
Alan Waddy says, too little too late, Dokapon. I already ruined all my friendships with Cold Steel Waifu Wars. And F's in the chat for all of the loved ones that we've lost as the waifu wars have raged on for years. Mm-hmm. It's a very serious problem. Many were lost. Some, it's irrevocably, just changed forever because of those waifu wars.
F for respect. It's true. Yes, still an Emma stan, but
never forget.
Every time I come to your stream, you're like, oh, what should I pick? Emma. Do it, Derek.
To be fair, I never didn't choose Emma. Okay, in my defense, always, I just also chose other people. So go ahead.
Last but not least, we got a comment from P-Tort.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I call him P-Tort. I assume that's correct.
Yes. Wanted to say thanks for everything this past year, guys. I've been here every single week. I can't believe next week will be the show's anniversary. Next week isn't like last week.
Oh my god! Wait, did we miss our anniversary?
We did. We did. This is the problem. This is our makeup anniversary show right now. Welcome to HitPoint, everybody. That's us.
Oh man, that's awesome.
It's true. Last week's show would have been the anniversary show, but So here we are again in early February. This is now the makeup of the anniversary show.
That's the brilliant thing, is that we both forgot.
I was sick, so you know that's my excuse.
Sure.
I was rolling around in bed typing it down. I was like, I don't think I can do it. Yon.
Oh man.
Man, thank you guys. You guys watched this for an entire year. Time just really flies. Like it doesn't even feel like it's been a year. It really hasn't.
I know, time has just been flying by, and honestly, I feel like we've made it through some of the doldrums of the RPG release cycle, and it didn't even feel like the work that it used to be to try to put together interesting things to talk about, because you and I just have a way of spinning a yarn for, you know, like it doesn't even matter if there's nothing out. We're just going to be talking about, you know, everything else. So thank you everybody for watching for over a year now, and Baku, it's been great to have you as a host this entire year. So thank you.
It's been a great pleasure to have fireside chats with the Derek, the Derek. Yeah, someone also talked about fireside chats. It's like, yes, I too enjoyed the fireside chats with Derek.
And speaking of straight fire, I'd like to say thank you again to Freddie Ken, who has been absolutely fire with providing us timestamps in the mornings and just making my life so much easier. Yeah, you are the man. Thank you
True
so much.
MVP. Yes. Thank you, Freddie Ken.
Absolutely. So we also have a voicemail, which is why, by the way, if you notice that we have a number in the lower right-hand corner, you can call that number and you can leave us a voicemail and we'll play it on the air. Or you can also email us at hitpoint@superderekrpgs.com. And every once in a while, I'll check the mailbox and find out that I have 3 just sitting there that I never played on the air.
Wait, hold on. You mean in the emails or?
Yeah. I found out that 3 people have sent me emails via that method, and I completely like.
Wow.
Yeah. So we have voicemails. I'm not going to play them all right now, but we have some catching up to do. And
okay.
You have my wholehearted apology to everybody who has been waiting. I see you now. Anyways, here, let's play this one.
Hey guys, it's me, Tarvold. What's up? I've been playing through Final Fantasy, the whole series lately, and I've come to realize that it doesn't really have any dungeons that get me really excited. So I was wondering, what games do you think have the best dungeons? JRPG specifically, of course. And what to you makes for a good or memorable dungeon in a JRPG? Some of my personal favorites are Loop8 and Golden Sun because I'm a big puzzles guy, but interested to hear what you guys think. Anyway, love the podcast. Keep it up, guys. Thanks. Bye.
Well, that's a great question, and I got to listen to this earlier, so I thought of a few that I'd like to mention.
So you're going first.
So I'll go first, so Baku can stall for a moment, because when you're on the spot, it's kind of tough. But there's definitely a few that stand out to me. Chrono Trigger especially has, I mean, I feel like it's almost cheating to mention Chrono Trigger, but Zeal's Palace, that, you know, the Black Omen, like that's super memorable to me. Magus's Castle, where we're just going through and like finding all these creatures that are pretending to be, you know, your friends and family and stuff, saying mean stuff to you, and then they turn into demons and attack you. Oh, it's so good. It's in that case, especially Magus's Castle was one that struck with me, and I think that a big part of that is that it ties into like the emotional side. It's not just a dungeon. It is character development via like their own inner self-doubts bubbling to the surface, manifest in these like hallucinations. I mean, maybe I'm reading too much into that, what that is, but I feel like some of it is playing into like the protagonist's concerns or you know, any of their doubts, right? So
yeah.
So like when you see Chrono's mom, she's like, where have you been? You know, because like you've not visited her for a long time at that point, right? So yeah, that's one of Golden Sun Tarvold already mentioned, but like I think that Ayers Rock was a big one for me, and Golden Sun The Lost Age, and that was because it's also really big on puzzles, and I'm really big on puzzles. If you like puzzles, you should definitely check out Alundra if you haven't already. I know that some people would disagree because they might not be super big into puzzles, like I know that myself and Tarvold are, but some people really like puzzles, and those people might like Alundra. Also, Persona 5. And I think that ties really in closely to the same reason I like Magus's Castle so much, and really kind of all of the Personas, is that they dive into character development in addition to being just a dungeon. Like they're all thematically linked to the inner workings of the minds of the people that they're, except for Persona 3, which is Tartarus, which is trash. But Persona 4 and Persona 5 in particular, where they were themed around a person and like maybe some inner sins of theirs that are, manifested in their hearts as you go through their palaces. That I think makes for a really good way to double dip on a dungeon as well as character development. And yeah, and puzzles are also always top notch. All right.
No,
Have I stalled long enough for you there?
Yeah, I think so. So I think the first dungeon the first game that I would probably say the dungeons are very memorable for me would be Trials of Mana, the original game. Every dungeon has a very defined theme that kind of goes along with like the area and the spirit that like inhabits the place.
Sure.
So it's very simple in a way that how it's presented, but it's very memorable because it's so distinctive from each other, right? So that's one thing that you want to be sure to do as you're creating these games to all the developers out there. The counter example would be I'm Setsuna, where basically every dungeon is just ice cave or ice field or something snow or ice or some combination of both. It's just blue and white and ice and snow everywhere always. I can't tell from one dungeon to another. Like, oh yeah, slight texture change. Okay, whatever. But this for Trials of Mana, the other nice thing about it is as you're playing the game, as you're going in, every dungeon, you know that you're going to get something cool out of this for your party. There's going to be some kind of upgrade that are meaningful. New spirits will probably join you. You'll get new lists of spells. You'll get to change your class. Like, that there's certain dungeons and they encourage you to replay the game. Like, that you could get something cool. So you can't wait to get there. So you get into the dungeon, you're going at it. Even upon revisiting it, slight spoiler for anyone who's not played this like 30-year-old game, but you revisit it a second time as the second part of the game, it still feels fresh because they open like an expanded area to that dungeon. You're like, oh wow, this is a whole area that I never went to. That's really cool. So childlike wonder. For a more modern example, I'd say Nier Automata. And it might be cheating a little bit because I don't know if you necessarily want to call them dungeon or just areas, because it's kind of like it's kind of open, right? It's all connected. But I think the one place that just everyone is in awe of is the amusement park. Everyone remembers the amusement park. And when you first go in, you are encouraged to basically not play as a pacifist and just leave the inhabitants alone. And so it makes you wonder, it makes you think like, these enemies, they're not doing anything to you. I could kill them. I could. But will I feel bad doing this? They're not doing anything. They're just kind of living their lives. So these kind of things, they don't state explicitly, they don't beat it over your head like, oh, this is a moral question, think about it. But it's like built in, it's natural. You go in and you can't help but ask yourself, these enemies, they look exactly like the ones that we fought before, but they're not attacking me, they're not doing anything. Should I just leave them alone? And then subsequently, when you come back to this area, things change and you behave a different way. Let me just leave it at that because the game is still relatively new and I don't want to spoil people. But let's just say that there's certain impact when you revisit these areas and it changes dramatically and it makes you think back to your previous choices and it makes you think like, did I make the right choice? Yes or no? Would I have changed my decision knowing what I know now? In very subtle ways, and I love it.
All right.
Yeah.
So thank you so much for that awesome question, Tarvold. And
Thank you.
if you now you at home have any burning questions, you can send us a voicemail at 785-337-3805, or you could send us a voicemail recording to HitPoint at superdarkrpgs.com, and we will find them this time. But if you have anything that cannot wait that long, you can also throw us a super chat, and we'll be responding to all super chats at the end of the episode. So make sure you keep an eye out for that. But that is it for comments from last week for now. So let's go ahead and dive into our next section, which unfortunately is delays.
Yeah, let's start with the bad news first.
Yeah, let's just get this out of the way. And this started off as the top headline, and I called it the unending wait for Loop 8 because Marvelous have announced via its Twitter that Loop 8 Summer of Gods will be delayed from the 16th of March until June 6th, unfortunately, for the worldwide release. The company has stated that the delay is so that the team can improve the overall quality of the game. Yes. So, hey, that's cool. I'm good. I'm good with that. Please let us enjoy this game when it comes out because it looks so good. And I really want to be blown away by it when we do get a chance to play it.
That's right.
Now, we also do have a new release date trailer that accompanied that bad news. So there's some good news. Do you want to take a look at this trailer?
Let's do it, Sarah. Let's go.
All right. Here, let's set this up here real quick. Now let's make sure everything works because this is it's been 2 weeks.
This is Ashihara Nakatsu. A nice little town. You'll be living here from now on.
Okay.
I'm sure everyone's already heard a lot about you. Word travels fast.
Some voice acting.
It's
starting today.
Not too bad at all.
The art looks good.
Our school has some very unique.
Yeah, some random enemy waifu, unexplained, but okay.
So you're the new guy everyone's been talking about.
I think the protagonist runs like weird, but I hope they fix that.
The VA, I'm enjoying it quite a bit.
I
know that some people aren't into English VA.
Oh my god!
But for a streamer, it's a godsend.
So bad.
We've almost finished getting you settled in here. So tomorrow onward, it's all up to you.
I really want them to fix the running animation. God, this drives me crazy.
I mean, it doesn't strike me as being unrealistic.
No one runs like that. No one runs like that.
Maybe I run like that, Baku. You ever think of that? have you ever stopped to consider that maybe there are some strange running people out there?
So exciting.
Maybe that's why I hate running. You ever think of that, Baku?
Oh my god, I've seen some really bad running animation from Japanese games. Like the girl running animation, the worst. They just like kind of run like this, and I'm like, no one runs like that. No one runs like that. And this is kind of like the other, like the equivalent. It's just.
So I have seen, as an RPG veteran, I have seen worse run cycles. Suikoden 4, for instance. Have you played Suikoden 4?
I have not played any.
Oh, you should give it a go. It's a lot of people give it a lot of flack for being different. It's definitely one of the black sheep of the series. But it was also my first introduction to the Suikoden series.
Oh, really?
And it has a really funny run animation. And I think I got a fan theory about why that is. But I think I talk about it in my full review. So if you want
check that out,
yeah, check it out if you want to
yes.
see more about that. But anyways, yeah, I think that trailer looks super cool.
Yeah,
The run animation, maybe it's
yeah.
I don't know. Maybe it's part of the slow FPS kind of effect that they have, like the God, what's that effect that they had on like the Spider-Man animation?
Spider-Man animation.
Yeah, didn't they? There was like a Spider-Man like multiverse Spider-Verse thing.
Into the Spider-Verse?
Maybe, I don't know. I've seen clips of this like CG animated that look was like 24, or actually it's probably like in 12 FPS, and it looked actually super cool. And I wonder if they're doing a similar sort of filter to this to make it kind of look more like animation rather than video games. So
that's a weird. I mean, not weird. That's an interesting. What is it? An interesting
choice
observation. Yeah, interesting choice.
Yeah, it's definitely an interesting choice I've seen used elsewhere as well, like .hack GU last recode, the fourth and final entry that they added that just for that remix. They used a lot of that during cutscenes, and I think paired with the gameplay being in like 60 FPS was kind of what's the word, jarring a little bit, but otherwise it's a fine effect, I think.
For an effect, yeah,
for an effect, and I think it looks pretty fitting for this style of game, which is obviously aiming to capture some of that like 80s 90s anime aesthetic. So vibe is now this game is supposed to like take place in the 80s, if I'm not mistaken, isn't that right?
I don't remember.
We don't have it written down right now, so don't quote us on this, but I'm pretty
yes.
sure that it's supposed to take place in the past, and I think that's
in
where
the yesteryears, right?
Yeah,
maybe in the 90s,
something like that.
Yeah,
so
no, yeah, don't quote us on this. Yeah, I don't have that information in front of me. So
yeah, we're just talking off the cuff about that one. But anyways, what we're not talking off the cuff about is the new release date, which is now June 6th of 2023. So keep your eyes out for that. We'll be sure to give you any updates as they arise.
Yes. Did you know I didn't even find out through like through their like tweet. I found out because Amazon told me that my pre-order got delayed.
No,
and I was like, excuse you? Like an email. I just like, oh, your pre-ordered date has changed. I was like, uh-oh. Like it's 9 out of 10 times that's a delay. They're never gonna like move it up. Like the 1 out of 10 times that they move it up. So I clicked in. I'm like, wouldn't you know it? It's June, and I'm like, all right. If that's to be believed, then that's what it is.
The one time that the date changed and it was so they moved it up. Pretty sure the one time was Xenoblade Chronicles 3.
Yes.
It's like the only time
that 1 out of 10 time was Xenoblade.
No, that's the one time out of infinity. Like how many games have released so far? Like tens, hundreds of thousands.
That's true. That's true.
We're moving this forward. This is like, it's just wrong. That is so weird. Anyways, hopefully that'll happen again soon. But anyways, that's it for Loop 8.
As usual, we're not bothered by delays. Just get your game together, get it right, get it done, release it so we can play it. In the meantime, we have many games.
In the meantime, I have, oh my gosh. In the meantime, I've got so much Trails. Oh yeah, and you know what I'm playing next after Trails of Cold Steel 2?
Yakuza. Like a Dragon.
That's right.
You know what I'm playing next?
What's that?
Not Trails. I have One Piece Odyssey waiting for me. I'm sorry. I got it. I give it some love because it's a big deal, and like unfortunately not a lot of people have been playing One Piece Odyssey, at least on stream that I'm watching. So it's strange. It's a big series. It's Bandai Namco is a pretty big company, so I'm not sure why no one picked up. And for all the reviews that I have seen, people said that it's a pretty good game. So yeah, we'll see. One Piece Odyssey coming up. All right. Speaking of games coming up, let's talk about upcoming releases.
Here, let's switch.
Yeah. Upcoming releases.
Yeah.
All right. So this is not exactly an upcoming release, but this really came out of nowhere. So Tango Gameworks just dropped this brand new rhythm-based action game on January 25th. So a couple of days back. Just really just out of nowhere. Like they're just like, boom, here's the new game. Enjoy.
Yeah, just a
surprise.
shadow drop. Mhm.
Yeah, just shadow drop. And you know, the crazy thing is the shadow drop is surprising, but not only that, this fun and vibrant aesthetics that you'll see from the trailer is a huge departure from Tango Gameworks like previous titles, which is The Evil Within and Ghostwire Tokyo, like horror games and dark and gloomy. And but this is like a completely this 180, right? So check it out. This game follows a 25-year-old guy named Chai, who's a self-proclaimed future rock star, and he accidentally gained these special superpowers through his cybernetic limb replacement. So that's the gist of the game. Let's take a look at the trailer, and we'll get a better idea of what we're talking about.
So just for reference, I've not seen or heard anything about this.
No, really?
And let me tell you,
I can't
so
wait.
far, based on your description, it has implanted this vision in my mind of Keanu Reeves from Bill and Ted being used in Cyberpunk 2077. Like it's the same character.
I think you're gonna love it. This game is just wow. I can't wait to get my hands on it.
Okay, let's take a look at this trailer together here.
Yeah. And I'm a pretty big fan of Tango Gameworks. Are you hearing the music?
Yep. Maybe I should turn the music down a little bit just to make sure we don't get copy striked.
You should be fine.
You think? Okay.
Yeah.
It's powering up my new robot arm.
Wait, he's got an iPod as a arc reactor.
Yes. Yes. I mean, dude, this is from The Evil Within to this.
You know, maybe that looks like GLaDOS in a way. Anyways, maybe this is like, you know how we sometimes as players need palette cleansers?
Oh yeah.
Maybe this is a game development sort of palette cleanser for them. Just to sort of.
We'll take down this company.
So apparently this game was developed, alongside Ghostwire Tokyo.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, they've been working on this for years.
It shows.
Yeah.
Okay, that's definitely a copyrighted song. That's definitely the Black Keys
there. We can't hear it. We can't hear it. Nope. Nope.
I know.
Cannot hear the song.
So I'm turning it way down. Yep. I mean, I love the Black Keys. They are super good, but yeah, it's like I definitely cannot play that audio during the stream. So I'm just gonna turn that way lower. But yeah, you know what else this reminds me of? I don't know what the rhythm-based component plays like, but of course I hear great things. I've heard people really enjoy this game.
Oh yeah, they're like, this game is so much fun.
It reminds me a little bit of like Jet Set Radio.
Yes,
and I love that. Except, no rollerblades. That maybe they should add rollerblades in the sequel.
This is so fun. This is such a fun looking game.
Future rockstar.
This is such a fun game.
That does
look the voice acting sounds amazing, by the way. And I don't say that often.
Well, I mean, I think you don't say that often about Japanese games.
For the English voice acting anyways. Yeah,
right.
It sounded incredible. It sounded so good. It's like straight like cartoon, like in a good way. You know what I mean? In a bad way. It was just like straight.
It accentuates the mood.
Yes. Saturday cartoon. Just it's incredible. So
he's got a little bit of attitude,
Is that the 90s kid in me? Like,
yes.
It's like radical. Yeah, I'm a future rock star. All right.
That's exactly what it is. That's us. We're 90s kids. We're 90s kids, and this is our inner spirit trying to break free.
Oh man,
It's resonating with you, Baku. Anyways,
Yeah,
what
yeah.
else were you
So,
saying? When does this
apparently
game come out?
apparently the Japanese voice acting is also really good. So I'll check that out later. But yeah, the game is immediately available as of the 25th, when it dropped on Xbox Series XS and PC. Which also another thing to note, this is one of those rare ones that are like somehow exclusive to Xbox as far as console is concerned. At least for now, because usually we're like, oh yeah, it's on PlayStation, it's on the Switch. Like, rarely do we say it's like only on Xbox console wise. But I feel free for people to correct me, but I have not been able to find this on the Switch or PlayStation stuff right now.
Okay.
But it is on PC, so there's that. So yeah,
Cool.
so I'm looking forward to getting it on PC.
Yeah. All right. Well,
All
let's
right.
move along here to another game, and this is the source of the thumbnail for anybody who's curious. Critical Games reached out to us to talk about 8-Bit Adventures 2, which is the sequel to their 2015 love letter to JRPGs. We had every intention of talking about it before launch, but we didn't end up getting to it because the last show ended up getting canceled. So that kind of
A
sucks.
certain somebody got sick.
Well, it's okay. I mean, that it happens. So here's the thing. We're gonna show you the trailer for this game. I've been keeping an eye on this one for a while. I don't know. There's just something about one of the characters that just draws me to this game. But
Yeah.
let's take a look at this trailer real quick and see if you can spot it.
Let's do it. Man, it's got just like Ness written all over it.
It does. A little bit of Super NES during
Yeah,
combat,
somewhere in between.
which is
more
fine by me.
color. Yeah,
You know-
more color.
You know what it kind of has? A little bit of that turbo graphics.
Look, it's Final Fantasy VI.
Oh,
Earth tore asunder, right?
Yeah.
Just things just ripping
hey,
apart.
spoilers, man. That game's only 30 years old. But yeah, it's kind of reminds me a little bit of Turbo Graphics, where it's 8-bit,
Mhm.
but it's also got the expanded color palette.
Yeah, you're right.
Oh man,
I like the saga slash saga kind of battle. Saga, yeah, not romancing saga, but like saga.
oh, okay. That
I'm really
music
digging
is
the music, by the
beautiful.
way.
You
Yeah,
and I
yeah.
had the same thought at the same time.
Yeah.
Musically, visually, this looks like a pretty awesome powerhouse of a game there. Yeah, there's just something about one of those characters that caught my eye.
The guy
and,
in the center, I can't help that hair. It's just,
Oh,
what's
you
it
think?
about that?
No, it couldn't be. That couldn't be it. So, yeah, you'll definitely want to make sure you guys check out Critical Games 8-Bit Adventures 2. Josh, the lead developer of the game, has kindly informed us that the game will be roughly about like 30 to 40 hours long, depending on how many of the side quests you choose to pick up, with several of these quests being adding to like the narrative content of the final dungeon. So
Yeah,
the
that's
game,
super exciting for me to hear, by the way.
yeah, and it looks
Yeah.
like he might even be hanging out here in the chat.
Hello. It could be.
It says completely unintentional but
yeah,
fun
who knows?
coincidence.
Who knows? So if you guys got a question about the games, the dev is in here right now. So fire
Yeah.
away, you know?
Please do. Now,
Yeah.
I will say that the game is immediately available as of the 31st of January on PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Xbox Series S, X, Switch, and PC via Steam and Good Old Games. I have also, just to throw this out there, I have every intention of putting out my own video talking about this game here pretty soon specifically, but not yet because I'm still really backed up. So
Me too. I'm like, thank you for reaching out. I'm sick and working on my homework right now. I can't play games. Yeah, I have every intention to play the game. So it's just, yeah, but yeah, I'm really behind in life. So But thank you so much for reaching out again. By the way, I appreciate developers making really cool games for us as a product of art. Like I look at it as a product of art and not like a commercial product, right? But also reaching out and just going like, hey, be cool if you guys can take a look at this. We're like, yeah, we would love to and talk about it. So thank you for making our lives easier because now I don't have to run around looking for things to talk about every week. All right. So that was 8-Bit Adventures 2. Next up, we've got something else that I'm super excited about, and I'll tell you in a minute why I'm excited. But first, developer Sting announced that they will be porting the 2006 Department Heaven Saga tactical RPG called Yggdra Union for PC on Steam, early access. Now, even though it's on early access, which is kind of weird because this is a 2006 game, Sting has confirmed that they would take the 3 to 5 months period to implement additional features based on player feedback and fix any bugs. So good on them for, wanting to do this right. Like they're not just throwing a thing out there that's like untested and like, here you go, buy it up. If it sucks, it sucks. Square Enix. But no, they're like, we'll make it early access. We'll do it right. We'll let you play it. And if you have any feedback, any comments, any new features, any kind of bugs, let us know. And we'll fix it during this period. And then it will be a full release and it'll be good and it'll be clean. So yeah, good stuff from Sting. I support the decision all the way. Now, all content from the previous releases of this game will be available in this port with a number of new features, such as the rewind function, autosave, the ability to adjust battle speed, and you can switch between English and Japanese voices in this port, which is really awesome.
Nice.
Yeah. Now, it is not currently clear which resolution this game will run on. But we're certainly hoping that it will at least be 1080p so that it's not a blurry mess. Because again, this is the 2006 game. It was originally on PSP. I think most of us will play it on 1080p minimum. So if it's like anything like 720p, it's just going to be blurry. We're not saying 4K, right?
I will say I would probably prefer to play it in the original resolution and have it be super sharp rather than have it be like smeared over,
Oh,
like,
yeah, absolutely.
Or at least the option to toggle between the two, because getting like super sharp pixels out of a PSP isn't exactly the easiest thing in the world. I can do it now, but it's tough to get really good signals. So if even they just stuck with the original, I would honestly be okay personally.
Well, so and the reason why I can't say for certain is because they don't have a release trailer that I could find, but they had. Then the most recent port was on the Switch and only in Japan, and I found that trailer. So if my gut feeling is that they're taking that port and put it on PC, because that would make sense. I don't think they're porting the PSP version.
As long as it was a good port, you may as well.
Well, let's take a look at it and see if it is any good.
All right, yeah, let's take a look at that here.
And that's why there's that snap, and that's why it's in Japanese. This is the most recent port video that I can find.
So this is Yggdra Union for Switch, but we're talking about a port that might be of this version coming to PC. It's complicated, but that's why we're watching this one. And it does look relatively high res, at least here.
It looks pretty clean to me. Yeah, the other video that I was looking at was 14 years ago.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, I don't think this is right.
YouTube, I don't even think, did they have 720p back then? I think they might have.
I don't know.
Like it was in around 05, 06, it was... It was the early days of YouTube, so...
I mean, this looks good, so...
But then again, so far it's just animations we're looking at, and not really anything in the way of gameplay yet. And I think that's going to be the real thing to keep an eye out for.
They will have gameplay, yeah, right here.
So
it's the tactical RPG.
Okay. So I'm seeing
I mean,
pixels. I like this so far.
Yeah.
It looks like they're retaining at least in this part, they retained some of the original
oh, look.
pixel art. Oh,
It's got that like
semi-blurry.
if anyone has ever played the old Langrisser game, will recognize that kind of like battle sequence. Yeah.
It looks like it might have some interesting form of upscaling being applied to some of the sprites. I don't hate it. It kind of reminds me a little bit of what they did with the Tactics Ogre Reborn, where
yeah,
it's not like 2xi, but it's almost like they just added more pixels to the pixel count, but only like doubled or something. It's interesting. I don't mind it.
okay, so for anyone has never played this game before, never heard of like Department Heaven like games. So there are a couple of games in the series. Each of the game plays different. This is the strategy RPG one, like kind of tactical. And then there are other games like Rivera, which is I believe it is the first in the series that is like a typical turn-based RPG. So it's very colorful. It's somehow all tied together. But it's one of those series of games where for one reason or another, they kind of just like stop releasing games, even though there are a couple of games planned. So I think that's the reason why a lot of fans, such as myself, are pretty excited. For one, if this works out for them, it may spur them to release additional games like Riviera and Nights in a Nightmare on Steam. They're currently not. I clicked on the Steam page and I clicked on the developer publisher, which is Sting. This is the first game that they're releasing on Steam. There are no other games listed under them, right?
Okay.
So with some luck, I think that they are going to self-publish these games, and if they can get the funding, if they see the popularity, there you go, guys. This is the time when you're voting with your wallet, right?
Yeah.
Like you want to see more of this supported, right?
Yeah.
So you bet I'll be supporting this. I'll be throwing money into it. I want to see Sting at the minimal port the rest of the games on PC, so that there could be a platform where they can just live. We all know what happens on consoles. Like they're the most current consoles. At some point the game store shuts down, looking at you, Nintendo, and then it could be potentially lost. Steam, as much as I don't necessarily like digital, Steam is about as like permanent of a place for games to go to. Say what you will about Steam, but it's true. Like
I will say though, to be a contrarian, that is mostly at this point just because it's never happened before, but that doesn't mean it never will happen. But I don't foresee Steam going anywhere. But it could someday. You never know.
I'll take an additional way to play it than one less way to play it any day. And hopefully that can introduce these games to more fans. Because let me tell you, Yggdra Union is one of the funnest. Is funnest a word?
Most fun.
So the most fun tactical RPG I've ever played. It's so much fun. It's very challenging, but it's super fun and it's super rewarding. If you like tactical RPG, definitely check that out. It's one of the lesser known ones too. So this game will be available actually in a couple of days on the 6th. So actually tomorrow, not even a couple of days, tomorrow. It'll be available tomorrow on the 6th on PC via Steam. So check it out. I'll be getting it like day one. Easy.
Sweet.
Yes.
All right. Well, we have some new game announcements to go through, starting with this one from Grimorio of Games. Yeah, they've just launched a Kickstarter to help fund their upcoming title called Sword of the Necromancer Revenant. If this sounds familiar to you, it may be because we covered this game when it was first announced some months ago. This is a sequel to the 2020 roguelike game called Sword of the not Necrodancer, sorry. Sword of the Necromancer. This new title will support local co-op play and also feature a city builder mode that is reminiscent of Dark Cloud. And we have a trailer for that as well. Do you want to take a look?
Yes, do it.
All right.
Yeah, so Sword of the Necromancer was like a 2D roguelike. And I think they're basically taking that and turning it into a 3D action game.
Yeah.
Yeah, like that. So I think it's kind of ambitious. I think they're taking the same characters more or less, and just putting it into a 3D plane. It looks a lot like 3DS games.
I was thinking it looks kind of PlayStation 2-y, you know, especially with a
2?
yeah,
Oh,
little
no,
dark
a
cloudy.
GameCube.
Yeah. Yeah, I could see.
dig
I could
it.
see a little higher, a little sharper than PS2. So yeah, GameCube.
Yeah,
I think.
I dig it.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. That is.
Yeah, there's the city builder kind of game. Oh look, you just put down a forge.
Oh my goodness.
Looks fun.
You guys trying to get me excited for this game?
You
Because
know
that's how you
the-
get me excited for this game. If you,
and there's local co-op.
I'm a big fan of Dark Cloud 1 and 2, and
I
world
did list
building-
it there on purpose.
the literal world building or rebuilding, if you will, definitely plays a role in that.
Yeah.
Yeah, sort of.
It looks really good. So the first time we talked about it, we didn't have any video. I think we had like a couple of screenshots and just like the title. That was it.
Yeah.
But now we've got the video. You know, there's a Kickstarter going. It's looking good.
So yeah, there's not really any release date to go off of right now, guys, but the game is currently being developed for PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, Xbox One, Xbox XS, and Switch and PC via Steam. You can find the Kickstarter link in the description down below, or rather
Yes.
you will after the episode.
Yes, once that becomes available. Yeah. So yeah, check them out. If you feel like this is something that you want to support, there's the Kickstarter. They were asking for $16,000 only.
Oh, that's
and
pretty modest, I think, for a game like that.
yeah, and well, let's talk about it. So they were asking for $16,000. They're 24 days to go. There are 1,260 backers, and so far they've raised $78,000. So what?
Okay,
Like, I don't
so
know,
it sounds like
5
maybe
times.
they might have hit
Yeah.
their goal. Cool.
They might have hit the goal. I don't know. Just 5 times over in like 6 days. But yeah, I don't think that they necessarily needed the money to develop the game. I think what they said was they needed money to port it to different places,
Oh, okay.
etc. I think it takes additional fun. I think they were developing this on PC, but then once you have to like port it to different consoles and stuff, like it does take additional work and man hours to do it. So
It was kind of funny. At first, I thought I half expected you to finish that sentence. So they say they don't need the money to develop the game. They just need it to like eat and pay rent while they develop the game.
Well, that's probably also true.
So anyways, sorry, don't mean to derail, but that's I thought that's where you're going with it.
No, but anyways, they are on the stretch goal right now. It is funded. I think I honestly I think the reason why they're doing this Kickstarter is in part because they do need money, but also in part they want to be able to really
Make it the
get
best that it
picked
can
up.
be. Mm-hmm.
No, I
Oh.
think they want to get picked up by like a publisher, maybe,
Yeah.
like to demonstrate that there is a want and need for this game, right?
That
So
is-
there's a stretch goal.
that is
They're paying for
certainly-
that.
Yeah, that is certainly an edge benefit of doing Kickstarters is to show when
Yeah.
you have genuine fan interest that are willing to put their money where their mouth is.
Yeah, and I don't mean to be cynical. It's just that's just part of the business. Right?
Sure.
So yeah. So, but everything looks really good. Definitely head over to the Kickstarter and check them out.
All
All
right.
right. Next game we've got. So P-Cube announced that they will be publishing the newest 2D Metroidvania from Inti Creates. And for those who don't know, Inti Creates is a relatively long-standing company. They've made some really iconic games that like no one has ever heard of. This is crazy. But one of the games that you might have heard of is Azure Striker, right? That's them.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so they're really good at making like platformers and like fast-paced platformers and Metroidvania. This one is called Grim Guardian Demon Purge. So yeah, why don't we take a look at that trailer? We've seen it before. Well, we've seen this game before, but this is a new trailer.
You got it.
これは鏡？ずいぶんでかい鏡ですね。何ですか？
A demon's castle looms.
悪魔あるところ、悪魔ハンターの一族あり。
Akuma, this isn't Street Fighter. Silly waifu.
This is the game where we talked about where you get to switch between melee and range weapon.
You're right. Yeah.
So Shinobu uses range weapon, and she has like anchor hooks and such, and bazookas. And Maya, the younger sister, excels in close range combat. And they have different like traversal kind of like methods, if you will.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are they traveling together in a way that like you switch between them?
Yes.
Or- okay.
You can switch between them. It looks
Yeah.
really good. The action is just like as you expect from Inti Creates. Super smooth, which is extremely like important when it comes to these kind of platformers.
Yeah.
Like if it doesn't feel good, if you don't get the speed element, it feels like sluggish, it's not fun.
That is very good looking.
The
as
pixel
well.
art looks really good.
Oh,
Like if you're a fan of Metroidvania, like actually not Metroidvania, but Castlevania, I think you'll be right at
Specifically.
home with this one.
Yeah.
Yeah, specifically Castlevania.
specifically the later
The
iterations.
boss battle looks pretty difficult too, which
Symphony
is
of the
great.
Night.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's got that nice gothic kind of feel to it.
Oh man, it sure does.
Castle darkens the land. Two sisters challenge its halls.
Yeah, you know, I've never really gotten into Castlevania games. I should though. I feel like I want to. They look so cool, you know. But
Yeah, I'm not.
they
big
also
on
look
it.
really hard. I don't know if I.
They are
part
hard.
Part of me is just like, do I really got what it takes to embark on that, or should I just stick to my turn-based stuff for now?
So you know what? Like there are certain games that will make you fight a boss over and over and over again. I'm looking at you East and I'm looking at you Souls, right?
Oh,
and
yeah.
these kind of like Metroidvania kind of game, like Mega Man, for example, or like platformers, like they pretty much do the same thing to you, right?
Oh,
Like
yeah.
they're gonna make you try to remember the boss pattern and make you do it over again. The thing that I prefer in these games over something like Souls is that like because it's so fast paced, like I don't like even though I'm like doing it over and over again, at least it's not taking me like 15 minutes like a boss, right? Like,
Shorter attempts rather than like
shorter attempts, repeat, learn fast, get it done, move on. Like Souls is
Okay.
like it's relatively sluggish to me, and then
Sure.
you die and you're like, I just lost like 10
Oh, no.
minutes. I was so
I
close.
gotta run back to collect my corpse and then
Yeah, all that.
that's
yeah.
that I
And
still
that's
love
why,
Souls, but still I get you.
yeah, I'd rather do like a Mega Man, like repeat on boss, right? So again, this game is called Grim Guardians Demon Purge. And for the few degenerates here who recognize the sisters from Galgun Double Piece, you're in fact correct. They are in fact Shinobu and Maya from Galgun Double Piece. God, you degenerates. The fact that you recognize Galgan characters, I question you, but also question me because I recognize them too. Anyways, the game will be releasing digitally on PS4 and 5 and PC on February 23rd. So at the end of the month, pretty much. Physical release for PS4 and 5 and the Switch will be coming in spring 2023. So if you're a physical collector, wait until a little bit later. We'll let you guys know when it's available. And as well, speaking of collector, there is a collector's edition with an acrylic standee and art book that will be available for early summer 2023. So look forward to all that fun stuff.
All right. Moving along, we've got another bit of news that almost... Oh, were you going to say something?
No.
Okay. That I almost put into the thumbnail as well, because this one's pretty exciting, and it's been catching my eye for a while as we've been talking about it. This is the upcoming Chinese martial arts RPG from Spiral Up Games. They're the publisher and being produced by Swordsman Studio that just got a new trailer for their demo. So this is Wandering Sword. Let's take a look at the trailer here.
Super excited for Wandering Sword. They're not even remotely shying away from looking like Octopath 100%. Like they're not even, no hiding it.
Why bother?
Yeah, why bother?
You would only dilute the experience if you did.
Yeah, but
Just
it looks
lean
great.
into it, push the style further forward. Yeah.
What I'm excited for is to see the battle system, right? Because you know, that's where you can really be creative, right? I get the aesthetics, and like I don't really care that you're taking the aesthetics, right?
Sure.
But the battle is where you can really set yourself apart, and that's what I'm really looking forward to seeing, how they will set themselves apart.
Yeah, and they definitely appear to be doing so based on what I'm seeing. It looks like a tactical sort of combat system. And if you want to know more about it, keep your eyes peeled, because I'll have a video talking about this game and the demo very soon.
Very soon.
You know.
Oh, look at that! Look at that level up! Look at that skill grid. The different martial art style.
Yeah, the different meridians of of building up your chi. Wandering Sword.
Very nice.
Yeah, definitely keep your eyes open for the demo. What goes live on the 6th. That is tomorrow for anybody watching right now. That is today for anybody watching tomorrow.
Yeah.
Now, we don't have an exact release date for this game. It's being developed for PC right now. The demo will be available. Actually, it's starting to be available on the 6th, but it actually does continue on through I think November, actually.
Okay.
Yeah. I do believe that is that was clarified on their Twitter account when people asked about that. So so it's being released, the demo, as part of the Steam Next Fest, which goes until the end of the 28th, but this will be available continuing on beyond that deadline. So don't worry too much about that. We'll have additional info on this channel for you tomorrow, and I highly recommend you keep an eye out for that video, because it contains information you will want to know. I promise you that. But I cannot say anything further for the time being.
Special information.
Very special information.
Yeah. So you know what's interesting to me, and this is not a call for pitchforks, but I remember when what is it called? When Genshin Impact first came out. There was this crazy like uproar of people just saying like, "Oh, you're just copying Breath of the Wild."
There was a dude who smashed his PlayStation 4 in protest in China, because he was
insane,
and he was Chinese also, but he was pissed because he felt like they were doing a disservice to the Chinese developers by
Right.
being paid by Sony to help develop this game. Like that was one of the reasons that they were at the conference, was like Sony was helping fund some of its development or something, and they're like, why, I don't know. They were pissed about that.
Yeah.
But anyways,
Yeah.
but now I don't care. I think that, visual aesthetic is something that you iterate upon. Like, don't just steal it. Like, don't rip graphics straight out and put them into your game, but make changes, make it special, make it your own, and move it forward as a whole.
Yeah.
Push the envelope when you do it.
Yeah. So again, this is not a call for Pitchfork. I think the Pitchfork was like stupid to begin with. It's just interesting to me that we don't get the same reaction with this. And I'm kind of hoping that we've kind of grown up from like the Genshin Impact copying Breath of the Wild. Oh my God. Like,
no, I don't think we have. I don't think we have.
You don't think so?
That's giving us way too much credit. No, I think people are just excited because the games look awesome. And these people weren't the first ones to rip it off, right? Because there's several games that are moving and borrowing from this aesthetic.
I think this is the first one, to be honest.
It might have been one of the first ones announced, or one of the first non-Square games specifically to come out in the style. But I mean, there was the Eiyuden Chronicle 100 Heroes that was announced a while ago that had a very similar aesthetic. There's another indie game that I can't remember its name at the moment. I do mention that game in tomorrow's video.
I think Eiyuden looks distinctly different.
It's distinctively different because it's definitely more of like the PlayStation style graphics rather than like the Super Nintendo style. But
this one is like, if I didn't tell you this is from a different developer, I just showed it to you, you would have been like, oh, is this one of the usable character in the upcoming Octopath? Like, right?
Yep.
That's how similar it is, right? But I'm just glad that people are not like up in arms. Now, if the battle system turns out to be like basically Octopath, then I would like this whole break and boost thing. I would be a little bit more if about it, because that's going beyond just borrowing aesthetics now, right? But I think so far we've seen that that's not the case. I think it looks like they have a unique battle system. I can't wait to see what they do with it.
Sacrifier was the one I was trying to remember the name of.
Sacrifier.
Yeah, that's another indie title that is borrowing that sort of HD 2D aesthetic.
Yeah, the other thing I'm super excited for, I mean, other than just I'm rooting for this game to do well, is I want Square Enix to see what they're missing out on. I can't wait. I can't wait for this game to hit big, and then Square Enix is like, gosh darn it, should have done more with this. Like our fans keep asking us to do, and we refuse to put money in it.
Yeah.
And then
Strike
other
while
companies.
the iron is hot. Dude, could you imagine if other RPG creators of the era, the ones who are still around, started reviving some of their 2D games with this style? Because just start eating Square Enix's lunch, because Square Enix has had an opportunity to start, like, once they made Octopath Traveler back in 2016, 2018. It's been
a couple years.
It's been a few years. They've had so much time to strike while that iron is hot. The fact that they've been waiting this long, I mean, they've put out Octopath Traveler on the mobile game. They've done Triangle Strategy. Was there another one? There's Octopath 2 coming out here, but
Live Alive.
Okay, so that's 4 if you include the mobile game. They could be churning out a lot more, and they have still announced the Dragon Quest 3.
DQ3, I just feel like they've had their chance to do more.
At this point, they've had long enough to capitalize on it. Now let's see the floodgates open. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to. All right, now speaking of games from the 90s, let's talk about 90s cartoon, and particularly this one game that is inspired by 90s cartoon, this dystopian fantasy turn-based RPG that I've had the chance to try during MacFest.
Oh, this sounds kind of familiar.
Yes, the game is called My Familiar. So, Ty from Something Classic Games reached out with a new trailer for us to look at. And yeah, this time it's got some gameplay for us to share. So, remember last time we only got like the opening video, and you're like, "Oh, I want to see the gameplay." Here it is. Here's the gameplay video. Let's take a look.
Okay, let's look.
Also, no worries about copyright strike.
Yeah, I'm turning it up.
Otherwise, I'm gonna have a nice talking to with Something Classic Games.
Everyone gets busy, cause minimum wage here is something like $6.50. Crime running rampant, paper changing hands like pamphlets. Government can't seem to understand it. They call us a town without a future. It's full of shooters and alcohol abusers. Fools spreading rumors.
Yeah, this is like the opening area. Doesn't that look like a little bit like the future age in what is it called?
Are you talking about Chrono Trigger?
Yeah, the future, like
2300 AD? Yeah,
something like that. Yeah.
The cops are pigs. I love that.
Yeah, this is the battle sequence. So you start on the left side.
Oh yeah.
You find the folks on the right side.
Uh-huh.
It's fun. The game looks so good. The color, the aesthetics, the script. It's so fun. So like in the demo, this is like your first like boss battle kind of deal.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like the sprite art a lot.
It's gorgeous.
That is super fluid.
Yeah. This game is so funny. Like, and I've only I keep singing praises to it, but like I've only played like maybe an hour and a half worth. But I was just so drawn to it. I'm like, yeah, I need more of this. So everything it's just made with so much like love and care. The bugs got like, did you see that quadruple handcuff? Yeah, this is the battle.
That's cool. And I still love that CRT effect that pops up, the scanline effect when you're like in a menu.
Yeah, man. This is kind of the beginning where you like wake up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
All right. Doesn't that look good?
It sure does. Oh man, I'm looking forward to that. So that's My Familiar. Yeah,
My Familiar. So no release date as of yet. I'm so sorry to break your hearts, but the demo is coming on the 10th of this month. So consider wishlisting that on Steam if you're interested. No, definitely give our friends over at Something Classic Games a follow on their Twitter if you want more news.
Yeah, definitely do. So we also have a little bit of an update here. CyberConnect 2 just gave us the release date of their upcoming Fuga sequel. And they gave us a new trailer as well for Fuga, Melodies of Steel 2.
Yes.
Let's take a look at the trailer here. Yeah, I've heard such really good things about the original Fuga, Melodies of Steel.
Yeah, the story was the gameplay was pretty. The gameplay is very different, right? But the story, the story hurts in all the right way, I guess. But it also has a very satisfying conclusion, from what I've seen. Oh, look, new characters! Hey, the crew returns from the previous game.
You know, I'm really glad to see that this is getting another shot. And
yeah,
because there was quite a bit of discussion how this game, when they released it, the original, did not do super well in the funding department. So, but it's clearly a work of love, you know, and it looks like this is going to be definitely one that you'll want to check out. If it looks like it might be up your alley, definitely give it a look.
extinguished, they become incapacitated. This
Man.
provides an alternative to using the soul cannon, which
Oh,
requires
not
a
again,
real
not
soul
again.
sacrifice, expanding the
Not the
range
seed
of
again.
strategies. The newly introduced judgment system ensures that each choice made
To make
affects the
choices, of
trajectory
course.
of the
I don't like
story.
making choices.
Faulty
Just kidding.
decisions as a leader, endowing him
It's
with different
making choices is
Empathy and
tough.
resolution.
the enemy and command your
Probably
crew
has to do with the
situation
ending. I don't
to
know.
gain the upper hand in
Part of
I
this
think that's-
reminds
I
me
think
of
that's-
like Breath of Fire series. I think it's a lot of the anthropomorphic characters that does that though.
prowess through expeditions and notebook entries.
Yeah, I'm scared. I'm scared to play this game on stream
Yeah.
because I might just ugly cry, and I don't want to ugly cry on stream.
Caught in a tangled web of
I've been meaning to actually take a look at the original.
from a world
Mhm.
Maybe I should now that
It goes
now
on
that
sale every now and then.
I have
Yeah.
a copy actually. I just need to do it.
Oh.
I just need to try it.
I bought it some time ago. It's just sitting in my Steam account.
Yeah, that's kind of my situation too.
Yeah. Looks really good. Yeah, and
Yeah.
you know what? The fans of the series just like it's kind of a cult classic almost, like at this point. Like
Yeah, because
original
this is
game
like
anyways.
part of like the Tail Concerto series, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, which you know, it's definitely also got a lot of fans. So yeah, if you are into Tail Concerto and you haven't tried Fuga, definitely give it a look. Now, this game will be released digitally on May 11th of 2023. It's coming to PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, Xbox One, Series X, S, Switch, and PC via Steam.
Ooh, just a couple months. Super excited.
That's right. So
All right.
keep an eye out.
Yeah. All right. Next one I'm also pretty excited about. And this one's coming out actually pretty soon. So let's talk about this new game from Binary Haze. The creators of Ender Lilies announced very recently, actually, like maybe like 2-3 shows ago, that they announced it, that their newest strategy RPG title called Redemption Reapers will be released in February, but they stopped short of giving us the exact dates. Well, that's changed because not only did they give us the date, they also gave us a new trailer that introduces some of the playable characters.
All right.
Now, so before we take a look at that trailer, I do want to note that even though the company is relatively unknown, they've released like one game, and that game was great, by the way. Ender Lilies is fantastic. I've said it multiple times. But this new game actually packs some like serious star powers, right? So check this out. They're working with the Fire Emblem series director, Masayuki Horikawa. Metal Gear Solid scenario writer Tomokazu Fukushima is on the payroll. And last but not least, the Bayonetta series composer Rei Kondo is also on this team. So yeah, little known company, lots of veterans works on these games. I think I've mentioned it too before. So let's take a look at this.
Okay. Yeah, let's definitely.
Yeah, because I got interested in it because Ender Lilies was a kind of a shadow drop. Like no one really talked about it, and then I found it, accidentally played it. I'm absolutely just like enthralled with the quality, and so I did a little research on like who the heck made this. It can't be like a fly by night like tiny company. There's no way. This is way too polished.
Yeah.
And then it turns out that the folks who worked on the game were a whole bunch of like super big name veterans, but they just kind of kept like a low profile, and they just made the game and just dropped it.
Yeah, I remember this being super exciting when we first watched this trailer.
Yeah.
Oh.
So here it is. Here are all the different playable characters and their respective like weapons, and where do they stand in like, what kind of role do they take in the strategy? Because this is a strategy RPG, right? So each of these playable characters have like a certain role. That's how you use them to, in conjunction with other characters, to get through these traps, right? You got your heavy axe hitter, you got the spear guy, you got the two-handed sword guy, probably get like a thief, rogue, right? Oh, here's the archer, right? So yeah, so these guys, I forgot they were like basically battlefield assassins. And the story is that like the war's over and now they're trying to like sort of redeem themselves from like the actions of that they have taken during the war.
Oh, okay.
Hence like redemption reapers. They were the reapers.
Yeah.
Right? Like they go into the battlefield and they're just basically just going like traps and surprise attacks and just wiping out like armies like many times their size, right? But this is the story of redemption from what has been described in the available text from the company.
Man,
it's looking good.
It does.
You can surround an enemy and do multiple attacks.
I love the look of this.
Yeah.
And I've said it before, I really hope that exploration outside of combat takes place on the same map. That would make this the ultimate game for me.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but this just calls out to me.
Yeah.
God,
I mean,
so
this game is not even from like a major like publishing studio. They're veterans. They know what they're doing. But it's not exactly like they still don't have that like funding resource, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So I think for the most part, this is like a passion project, like a company of just like passion projects from series veterans, and I think that's super awesome.
God,
they're doing it right.
Yeah.
They're doing it right. So what's
like,
interesting?
You know what this reminds me of? Sorry,
What?
it's like a Western style RPG, but they managed to make attractive females, which is something that no Western RPG has been able to do so far.
Wow. I think a lot of people are getting the pitchforks up right now. Wow. A lot of Witcher fans would disagree, I guess. No, but with shots fired. Yeah, exactly, right? Do a beer. Yeah, no Yennefer. Yeah, see what?
See, I've not played a Witcher game, so don't hold it against me too much.
All these people, it's okay. Most of the people in here plays JRPGs, so you'll be fine. There are like 5 of them here who are mad at you now. And of those 5, only 1 will come for your life. But anyways, yeah, no, I think it's crazy. The other thing that is very praiseworthy for this company, I think, personally, is because they only announced this game, like I said, very recently, they announced it, and then boom, February, like drop date. I think they announced it like in the beginning of January.
Wait,
and before you know it, this is released. Like,
is this coming out?
February 23rd. They announced it like last month.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. So I'm just like, what? Yeah, and no crazy release schedule. It's just that's the day, and boom, there you go. Right?
Yeah.
So hold on. So recently I was in a discussion. So I'm going for my master's degrees in business, for anyone who didn't know this. So I was in like a group discussion about why large companies tend to be really bad at innovation. Like they want to be the leader in their field, but somehow they always miss the mark when it comes to like actually releasing cutting edge technology. Right? So when I thought about, when we were talking about it, I immediately think about Square Enix. Like why? Like they're basically industry leader when it comes to JRPG.
Yeah,
like they're the biggest.
Hey, I feel like.
Yeah.
What do you think is the biggest innovation that Square Enix has done? Like they have. I've got one in mind, but it's been a long time. So go ahead and tell me what comes to mind.
Well, no, but the problem is that they are the largest, and they are the leader, but they're not very good at innovating anything.
Yeah,
It keeps falling short. So why? So we got this whole lecture about like why that may be.
Yeah.
And one of the solution that the professor proposes, you should start like a small like company, like a think tank that's outside of your main company, doesn't answer to the same mainstream concern to current consumers.
Mhm.
Really try to look out for the unknowns and
Yeah.
new customers,
Just
because
have
now
one
you're not
department that just kind of acts like their own startup, basically.
basically. And Square Enix did try to do that kind of, but they didn't do it in a way that worked. I mean, there's Tokyo RPG Factory, right? Remember that?
Yeah.
So that was kind of it, but like they did it half right, but they also like didn't go like the full distance. Like they were
No.
still trying to cling on to something from the past. They still weren't like necessarily innovating, right? But this company, I feel like is doing exactly that. I would almost wager that there's a large company backing this small company up right now,
Mm.
and they're not making it public because they don't want the like associations attached.
Interesting.
Like there's no way a fly-by-night company can just grab all these veterans and be like, yeah, let's make a game, and manage to keep a low profile
Yeah.
and release games in these kind of schedules at this quality. There's no way. Like
You're probably right.
I'm pretty sure that there's a large company backing this, but I feel like if this is I feel like Binary Haste is that small company
Yeah.
that they're putting out to try to capture new markets that the larger company just couldn't.
Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah, so it's just interesting. See, I'm applying what I learned in video games.
So because I raised the question earlier, I'll go ahead and give up my answer about what I feel like Square Enix's most recent innovation was.
HD2D.
Yeah. Yeah. And like I said, it's been a hot minute. It's been 5 years since they iterated.
Yeah.
In a big way. But
it was interesting that Asano's team is kind of like its own thing within Square Enix.
They kind of are,
so
in a way.
They have some autonomy. Yeah. But it's not quite enough. Because you remember, like, there was a time when they had to reach out to Square Enix executives and say, okay, which of these games do you guys want us to make next? Right. And they have to come up with all these like ideas, and hence like they decided DQ3 was gonna be like one of them, right?
Yeah.
So they're still answering to like some upper management in this larger organization. That's not quite it. You need to break completely away.
Yeah.
You can get resource funding, that's fine, but like you can't be the smaller company's decision cannot be influenced by the larger company, because otherwise you're going right back. It completely defeats the purpose. You're going right back to the way that the large company does, and you're still not innovating.
Yeah.
So that's just my guess, right? Don't take it with a grain of salt, but based on what they've pushed out, based on the quality of work that they're putting out, based on the time schedule, based on the people that they're able to pull in, and based on how like little known this company is, I can't help but think that this is a company that's probably a silent offshoot of a much larger entity. And I'm fine with that, as long as they're able to do these like really cool works and unrestricted.
Any guesses on who that parent company could be?
I don't have enough info. I can probably dig into it if I look at all the people involved and make an educated guess. But Fire Emblem, Metal Gear Solid, Bayonetta, like
I mean, that's pretty wide.
Oh,
maybe.
I was gonna say I would say Nintendo, but no, because I wouldn't think that they would release games on PC and PS4. But
maybe that's why. But who knows? It could be. It could be anybody, honestly. But
yeah, I'll you know what? That's an interesting. I'm gonna look into that. I'll think about it.
Yeah,
I like talking out loud.
Sure.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, it's Konami. That's exactly it, dude. I wouldn't be surprised if it's Konami. I honestly wouldn't be.
Yeah.
Truth be told, I wouldn't be surprised. Like, I know you're kidding, but I wouldn't be surprised if it actually is Konami.
I mean, at this point, Konami's PR is in the well, it's making a slow recovery, but it's still got some ways to go, and I could see that title working
Mhm.
against them
Yeah.
if it was involved. So that
Mhm.
could be a good reason to have a ghost, a pseudonym, if
Yeah.
you will.
Yeah, absolutely. So fun things to think about, guys. I want and as we look at these companies try to innovate and make games to cater to an audience that does not exist today, whether or not they succeed or fail, because not all endeavors ends in success, right? So
Sure.
certainly some of them will fail. It's interesting to see what they would do like 5 years from now, like how they would do 5 years from now. So,
Yeah.
and we'll be here to keep you all posted.
All right.
All right. So, speaking of companies that's been around for years and years, did you know that NISA celebrated their 30th anniversary? 30th.
Oh,
I
that's
did
a
not know that
long
they've been
time.
around for 30 years.
I did not know that. That's a long time.
Yeah, Nippon Ichi, I get it, but NISA, really? NISA's been around for 30 years? What?
Yeah, since 1993.
What? But yeah, but wow, it's just if that doesn't make you feel a little old, like I don't know what does. But anyways, so during the 30th anniversary celebration, they did this whole stream, which we'll link in the description down below. During that 30th anniversary showcase stream, I cannot talk today. There are two particular titles that are of interest to us tonight, and we'll start off with the larger of the two, and that is Disgaea 7, Vows of the Virtueless.
Oh.
I have to stop for a second because I'm like, blah. Disgaea 7, Vows of the Virtueless. So we've known that this is coming. Disgaea 7, we've talked about it. But, here, at least in this show, we haven't really covered anything because all the news that were coming out was just Japan only. And you guys know our policy is like, yeah, we'll let you guys know that something's coming. But unless it is international, it might not be worthwhile to talk extensively over. Well, that's changed because during the 30th anniversary showcase, they are finally giving us information on the international release. So just a little bit of background again. The game will follow new protagonists, Fuji and Piririka, as they travel through this like Oedo Japan-inspired demonic realm called Hinomoto, and fight against this tyrannical regime. So let's take a look at the trailer. It's going to give us a little bit more info on the game.
Alrighty.
I dig the aesthetics, though. I think the aesthetics looks really good. That's Fuji. Yeah.
All right. What we got?
It's taken them 7 games to finally go back to like their roots.
Well, hey, that's kind of one of the good things about exploring beyond your roots, I guess, is that when you finally return to those roots. Yeah, you're not just rehashing something for 7 games.
Piririka is the otaku, apparently.
Oh.
I hope they take what they learned from like the previous Disgaea game and make this one better, because I think D6 wasn't their best work. But I also feel like D6 had a lot of strings attached from fans who couldn't like get with the new style.
Oh yeah.
But as people get acclimated to this, and as they make fine adjustments to answer to the complaints, that may be fair, constructive from D6, I'm really hoping that D7 would do well. It looks really good to me.
To hell with honor. The power of punctuation.
Punctuation matters.
I love
it. Beautiful. Yeah, it looks really good. I'm super stoked for this one. So this is coming out in fall 2023 on PS4, 5, Switch, PC. There will be a standard, deluxe, and limited editions, all kinds of editions. So can't wait to see what that looks like.
Yeah, and also revealed during the event, Nisa also announced that they will be releasing Rhapsody 2 and 3 for the first time in the West in a bundle called Rhapsody, Marl Kingdom Chronicles, and we've got a trailer for that as well.
Let's do it.
Once, not too long ago, there was a kingdom and a young girl who yearned for
I love that
something
CRT filter on this.
Mother, wait! Is this the story about you growing up again? I've heard it 1,000 times.
Oh.
It's cute.
My story's about a princess who went searching for a prince, all on her own.
So I guess we're leaving out the part where I rescued you from that dragon.
Yes, we are. This guy.
This girl.
My tale is about a girl who found herself displaced in time. What happened before a certain musical adventure?
This is actually my first time seeing this trailer
much
too.
more.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
Okay,
I've been living under a rock since
go ahead, Mother.
since our last
You know
episode.
what? I don't think you've heard this one yet.
Rhapsody, Marl Kingdom Chronicles.
Coming
Oh,
to
man.
Nintendo Switch, PlayStation 5, and PC this summer.
That's
Fall in
Heck
love
yeah.
with
That's
adventure.
awesome.
This game looks so
Alright.
fun.
I
I
know.
can't wait. Yeah. There's so many games that we've talked about today that I'm super stoked for. And like, this is another one.
It's gonna be a good year.
Yeah. It's
All right.
gonna be a good year.
So we can look forward to a release sometime in the summer of 2023. So sometime before the end of August. It's going to be releasing on PlayStation 5, Nintendo Switch, as well as PC. No
That's
Xbox?
right.
No Xbox this time?
No Xbox? What? What?
Huh.
No Xbox?
Limited edition of both games are going to be available for pre-order. I'm sorry, they are available for pre-order right now over at
Right
the
now.
Nisa store.
Yes.
And there's a going to be a link to the 30th anniversary celebration stream. If you want to watch the VOD of that, we'll put that in the description down below.
That's right. Yeah. So for folks who may not recall, just remember that Rhapsody 1 is now available in modern console. So that's why it's a bundle of 2 and 3. Though I do wish that maybe later on they can release a bundle of just like all 3 games. That'd be great.
That would be pretty cool.
Yeah. But if you just like, oh, why are they doing 2 and 3? What happened in 1? Well, if you'd watch a show, you'd know that we've covered that already before. But
Baku,
yes,
Baku.
rest assured.
I forgot that we covered Rhapsody 1, just saying. Why haven't we talked about Rhapsody 1? Oh, I'm kidding. I guess we did.
We have totally talked about Rhapsody 1. I think it came with it's Rhapsody 1 and La Pucelle. It's like a bundle. It's the Nisa like classic volume.
Oh, you're right. Okay, it's the
Yes.
double pack.
The double pack, yeah. But see, you
One
see
of
how
their
like
double
that game
packs,
is
actually. Yeah.
bundled, and then this is bundled. I'm like,
Yeah.
well, what if we have all 3 bundled? Okay, it's whatever.
So it is time
Anyways,
for us
yes.
to move along to some industry news.
Fun industry news. All
Yay.
right. Yay. Industry news. All right, let's go. So if you're a Final Fantasy VII fan and you need an excuse to take a day off, well, you can tell your boss that Square Enix just registered with the Japan Anniversary Association that from henceforth, January 31st is now be known as Final Fantasy VII Day.
Wow.
Yoshinori Kitase, the director of the original Final Fantasy VII, shared the news over in Twitter, which we'll link down in the description below. Just showing this like certificate, like he's like just holding this certificate, like, aha, it's an official holiday. that according to the Japan Anniversary Association, which by the way did not know that they exist until I covered this news item, right? Yeah, but apparently it's official.
Here, let me.
According to the Japan Anniversary Association, they got an association for everything.
Here, there it is. I've got it up. There's the certificate.
Mm-hmm.
All right. There's the anniversary message. Make sure you pause the stream and read that real quick. And then there he is. He's very happy about Final Fantasy VII Day. Oh, that's great.
Oh boy.
So Baku, how long till you register for HitPoint Day?
We could probably do that like now. I mean, by the time we
Okay.
submit the papers and all that, by the time we get accepted,
Yeah.
it's gonna take some time.
All right.
I don't know when they submitted papers to get Final Fantasy VII Day.
So for everybody who has just like a floating flex holiday and you're not really sure when to use it, this is your time. This is when you should use it to celebrate and honor Final Fantasy VII Day. Not
Also,
Final Fantasy Day, Final Fantasy VII Day.
7 Day. Yeah, that means that every single Final Fantasy can have its own day.
I think, Final Fantasy should have its whole week. Just like 1 through 7 on the whole, like starting on the 24th and through the 31st. That would be awesome, right?
There's 16 games. They could do 2 weeks.
Oh man, that'd be kind of like, what would they call that? If not like Golden Week, what would it be like?
Final Fantasy break. Limit break.
Limit. A limit break. I like it. I like it a lot. I was gonna say it can't be Golden Week because some of those games were like not all that golden, but
well, I mean,
hit and miss week.
Every day during the break, you have to play that game. So on the first day of Final Fantasy Limit Break, you have to play Final Fantasy 1, Final Fantasy 2, so on and so forth.
Oh, that's awesome, man.
Full disclaimer, by the way, we here at HitPoint cannot guarantee that your boss will let you take off on Final Fantasy 7 days. So use that excuse at your own risk. Don't get mad at us if you get terminated for this.
Oh man. I mean, the fact that it is an official holiday in Japan, though, like if you could tell them like this is my religious holiday, I need to perform various rituals and rites on this day. I need.
Here's the thing.
Yeah.
It's I don't know if it's not an official holiday. It's just a day that gets registered with this association.
I mean, at what point does it become a holiday?
If their national diet accepts it and adopts it into a national holiday.
Oh, so there's still procedures left to be done before it'll be like, I mean, because like we in the United States, for anybody who doesn't know, we have stupid holidays that are on the books and they are official, like it's, what is today? Official macaroni and cheese day or something like that, right? Like it might very well be the case, or buy your boss a donut day or something like that. Like we have real days like that, and just because Final Fantasy VII Day exists, like it could actually be ratified and stuff, like and just not be recognized by anybody. Like there is a huge difference between it being registered, existing, and then being recognized.
Well, if anyone from the Japanese National Diet is watching our show right now,
maybe we should
consider it. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe that would be pretty interesting.
I don't know.
All right. So, we also have a nice little bit of fun news here. This one comes from Atlas. It is no secret that Persona 4 has plenty of bangers, and Atlas have just announced the top 10 most popular songs as chosen by fans in celebration of the Persona remasters.
That's right.
So we got some top 3 here listed. So what do you think? What do you think, Baku, is the number 1?
Are we starting with 1? You want to go backwards?
Oh, maybe we should go backwards.
I should have made go backwards. Yeah.
Okay, fine. Let's start from 3 then. What do you think is number 3?
I actually don't. I mean, I actually don't know what it was. I mean, I don't know the game soundtrack like names by heart.
Oh.
actually have no idea.
All right. Well,
What
I'll
do
tell
you
you
do?
because we have the list up, but I know you don't know what it is anyway. So
Yeah,
number
of course
3
not. Definitely not looking at the list
is
myself.
the song that plays when you. God, is this a spoiler? I'll just say that the track name is Heaven and leave it at that.
It's one of the dungeon tracks, I think.
It's a pretty
Yeah.
solid track.
Oh, okay. Now I know which dungeon it is.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. I'm surprised that's number 3.
Well, number
Yeah.
2, we have
Number 2
is Your Affection.
Yes, which I'm not surprised.
It's such a
It's so catchy.
It's such an infectious song.
Yes.
It really is. It's an earworm and a half. And then, of course, like the big one. As soon as I started thinking about Persona 4, before I even read the list, this one was stuck out in my head. You could say that it was reaching out for my brain, and that is "Reach Out to the Truth" is number 1 at the top spot, which is just solid picks.
Yeah.
But we won't be listening to any of those songs because we'll get DMCA'd and stuff. So
in a heartbeat.
heartbeat.
Oh my God.
Make sure you check out the link in the description down below to get the whole earful.
Yeah, that's an official video. We'll link it. Yeah. But yeah, no. But for anyone who does not know, this is not a spoiler. Reach Out to the Truth is the battle theme, and man, Persona battle themes are something else.
Oh, I know.
They're catchy. They're the most. They're some of the most catchy battle themes ever.
I know.
But yeah.
Man, I was really looking forward to when P4 came out on Switch and other platforms. I reached out to Atlas and I'm like, guys, let me try it out on these. And they got back to me. They're like, oh, we're only giving out review codes for the Steam version. I'm like, why would you do that? The Steam version has been out for like 2-3 years now. Why? Why are you giving out codes for Steam? I want to see how it is on the platforms that is relevant right now. Like, come on.
And inform people if it is worth getting, right?
I mean, I appreciate the fact that they offered, but I'm like, I already have it on PC, so it's fine.
I don't think they understand the point of reviews.
Yeah,
especially Atlas. Like we've been through it. That I don't think they get how like YouTubes and streamers and influencers work. I don't think they get it.
I'm sure somebody there gets it, but I think somebody in a very important linchpin position doesn't get it, and that's probably the big problem. But anyways, that's why I got a Persona 3 video out last week talking about it and not P4.
Baby.
Ah!
All right.
Perfect. All right, Baku and Derek hitting the road. Going on tour.
We're definitely going on tour. All right, next up we got the what is it? The headline today.
All right.
Koei Tepco is cracking down on unauthorized dead or alive body pillows. They told you they're coming for your waifus.
They're coming for your waifu pillows.
Told you they're coming for your waifus. So this is a news item from Famitsu. So according to Famitsu, Koei Tepco, the company behind Dead or Alive series, is taking some serious actions against one unauthorized seller of Dead or Alive body pillows. And in Japan, Koei Tepco has stated that the act of selling unauthorized body pillows is, quote, extremely malicious.
Oh,
strong words.
Extremely
malicious.
Malicious
Dare you sell waifu pillows that are unauthorized?
Malicious. Let me just say, malicious. The root word being malice is such a severe term for hatred and loathing. Like malicious, it is acting with intent. It is ill intent incarnate. It is so, it's such a lovely word. I love it a lot. Malice, malicious, extreme malice is kind of already implied by the word malice. So like, I'm sorry, but the phrase extreme malice to me is like, whoa, what are they doing to these body pillows? And then I remember, oh, they're body pillows.
Okay, so the person in question in the Famitsu article, anyways, is a man in Japan who had purchased 22 body pillows with the intent to resell them. Big no.
Oh,
Don't do that. Yeah, that's unauthorized. These are unauthorized selling of body pillows. That's bad. That's where the maliciousness came from. How dare you? All 22 of them?
Probably not all
yeah.
22, just probably 21, maybe 20.
Maybe 10. Maybe it's just like half of them are extras, you know?
I'm sorry, but
this is
question.
just...
I'm coming from this from sort of an outside perspective. How many just spitballing here. On average, the kind of body pillows people would buy, about what percentage of them do you think are officially licensed merchandise for your waifu snuggling consumption?
You'd be surprised. Like in Japan, these companies would release body pillow covers.
No, not just body pillow covers. I mean, I've seen some body cover pillows.
Yeah,
but the ones that people buy are usually not what I would call brand friendly.
See, that's what you think. Like, I know what you're saying, and those are usually like the ones that you get from like conventions and such.
Right.
Yeah, but the companies in Japan, they sell pretty risque things for the body pillow. They don't offer it out in the West, but if you go to Japan, you'll find them, and they're officially licensed.
That's officially licensed.
Yes.
Oh wow.
Remember, this is the land of a lot of they call R18 games, basically like rated X games, like all over the place.
Oh, okay. Well, I guess coming from as a Westerner, where all of the those body pillows of that particular variety are probably unlicensed merchandise. Like you wouldn't find Nintendo of America selling a Peach waifu body pillow,
right? Well,
in a certain compromising position or something. Like you wouldn't find that with like the Nintendo official seal of quality.
Yeah, but that's Nintendo. There are other companies with a little bit lax on, that particular set of morals.
Bandai Namco. I don't think Saban Entertainment. I'm trying to think of some like I don't know. The Pokemon company probably not putting out. Okay, well, anyways, go ahead.
I mean, you do have like Compound Hard, and
Well, sure. I mean, but that's different.
They're sizable. They're sizable. But anyways, yeah. So Gust is another one, but yeah. So let's talk about it, right? Let's talk about these like fan arts, if you will. And let's talk like broadly, right? Like, yes, there are these pillows, covers, but there are all kinds of other things that you can find at conventions, like t-shirts, things that aren't even risque, just any kind of like fan art that gets turned into merchandise from artists, keychains, you name it, right? There's all kinds of things that you can find at conventions. If you're an artist, okay, and you're hearing the story and you're kind of getting a little nervous, like, oh my God, what can I do to make sure that I'm protecting myself, make sure that I'm doing things right? Or if you're a con goer and you're like, well, how come all these companies can do A, B, and C selling prints and their fan arts on posters? Like, how does that work? Okay, this is to answer to that curiosity. So, a lot of franchises, these companies will have something called guidelines for derivative works. Is the key term that you're looking for is they're called derivative works. Okay. That can be monetized without explicit agreements. So they'll list out things like, here's what you can do, here's what you cannot do.
Yeah.
And here are things that you need to come and talk to us first, and we have to have like an agreement. And usually those are the ones where they either have items that they're selling, or they have items that they plan on selling, and they feel like you're eating into, their own official goods, then they might not let you do it. But otherwise, usually most IPs have a very clear list of derivative works because doujin is a huge culture in Japan. So they're no strangers to artists like selling and having monetary gains by selling these derivative works. They're used to it. So just look it up. Like I can't think of one right now, but like even things like Persona would have like a guideline for derivative works. So and it's super popular, and you'll see like Persona keychains or Persona fan arts that are sold in conventions. Well, guess what? There's a guideline for that. So if you're an artist and you're like about to spend some money to print your merch and create these things for an upcoming con, and you're a little nervous to see like, oh my god, is this thing even like legal? Are they gonna like send me cease and desist? Check out the guidelines before you even, before you even ink anything. Just check out the guideline first. Know what you're doing. Protect yourself.
Assist and decease sounds really like oh my god, that sounds like you're gonna kill you.
Cease
and desist.
Desist and desist. Yeah, sorry. Decease. you're
They're coming
you're
for you.
You're going to hell.
Oh man, they're really stepping it up these days.
Nintendo, man, like I'm telling you, like they're taking it to a different level.
Well, that's about on par for the course for Nintendo.
That is true.
All right. Well, I think that does it for our industry news for today. So we've got some other topics left.
One last thing.
One
last thing. So okay, this is for all you Trails fans out there, all the Trails fans who are still sitting through this. So after showing
Trails
off,
fans stuck around for the pillow discussion, by the way. I know my audience.
Waifu wars will continue.
That's right.
They just put the body pillow and they smack all the waifus against each other. Anyways.
It's a pillow fight.
You remember like when we were kids and we'll take like action figures and we'll like ram them into each other?
Yeah,
that's what they do. They take the body pillow and just like slamming each other. Anyways, so one of the previous shows, we showed off the Ren figure, right? And the folks over at Kotobukiya is at it again. I've told you that if you're a figure collector and you're a Trails fan, or if you have ever wanted to become a figures collector and you're a Trails fan, you need to pay attention to Kotobukiya, right? Yeah. Because they're going to just keep releasing more and more of these Trails figures, guarantee you. And this time they're bringing us the 1/8 scale figure of Fee, which is a long-standing Costio character, and we've got a site pulled up, so you want to take a look at that real quick.
There we go. Okay.
I cannot talk today. Today is not a good day for me. Anyways, yes. So let me just increase the size a little bit more. There you go. So they're only in the beginning stage. They've kind of like picked out the art. Like you can expect it to be like this, but they're not in the what is it called? Prototyping phase yet. So basically, there are 3 phases to creating figures. There's the planning phase, which is this right here. Basically, they picked out the character, they picked out the pose. They have a very good idea what they're making, right? Next is the prototyping phase. That's when you will see like
the grayscale model.
The gray model, no paint, but it's in 3 dimension, right? And then you'll finally have like basically the pre-order phase when they have that colored and the pre-order information is available, and then you get it in like a year or something. So we're very early, but they have picked out the character, they picked out the pose. This is going to be Fee from Coastal 3 variant. So I don't think you're at Coastal 3, you're Coastal 2, right?
Still on 2, yeah.
Okay, so slight spoiler for you. But this is coming. So yeah, just please check it out. They do have a special message for all the Trails fans. So if you're a Trails fan, stick around for the special message. Yeah, special message from Falcom or Kotobukiya rather. Ever since we announced the start of our upcoming figure lineup for the Legend of Heroes series, many fans requested Fee. And now she will finally be released as the figure. Thanks to everyone, we have quite the variety of characters in this series lineup. We will continue to support this series, and we hope you'll support it with us as well. So there you go. A confirmation that they're not anywhere near done with releasing. Like, you know what? Maybe I need to get like a second job if I afford all of this.
Well, before you get a second job, you need to finish college.
Yeah.
You're running out of time. Your second job should be your YouTube channel, Baku.
Dude, like, I mean, here's the thing about Kotobukiya, okay? Like, each of the figures are actually relatively affordable compared to some of the more premium brands, or like $300 to $500. You're looking at more like $100 to $200, depending on the complexity of the figure, which is actually in this day and age with the inflation, relatively affordable compared to some of the other
and the
stuff out there.
exchange rates too.
Yeah, and with the exchange rate, well, that's bounced up a little bit, but it's still really good right now. Yeah. So, but once you add up all the characters and trails that they could possibly do, and there are a lot of them.
There are many.
It's gonna add up to thousands of dollars. So hey, I'm just saying that if you plan on collecting this entire lineup, this entire series, I think this is just the beginning. They're probably going to keep releasing figures for the next many, many years. So,
especially because, you know, one of the first things I read from somebody who came across this knowledge of the new Fee figure, they are a fan of Fee, but they said something to the effect of, great, they would have to pick the one outfit I don't like her in. It's just like, oh, jeez.
I've got some Toa fans who are waiting for a Toa figure. I guarantee you they will make a Toa. Like, I'm willing to put money on it.
Yeah, there's going to be a Toa.
They will make a Toa figure. Just wait. She'll come.
It's just a waiting game for sure.
Yeah. So, glad to let you all know that this is coming. So, yeah, that's the final news item for us for the evening.
Now, it is time for us to respond to some of those super chats we've been seeing roll in throughout today's episode.
Heck yeah, let's go.
Let's go ahead and start with this one here from Module Cell, who says, I have some fears and wonder if you might as well. Do you think the acquisition of Activision/Blizzard by Microsoft will change the monetization system to free to play in conjunction with the new trading post feature? That's Microsoft transitioning toward free to play for the various like with like World of Warcraft, for instance.
Okay,
I could see that happening. I could, but but would they? I mean, I feel like at a certain point, Activision Blizzard is big because they are not free to play, because they are subscription-based services. That is part of what makes at least World of Warcraft such a cash cow, I think. Like, you don't get to be as big as Activision Blizzard without, I mean, because I guess if it's free to play, that just means that it's another word for like pay to win, right? Because then at a certain point, if you want to monetize, you're going to do it through selling legendary loot.
Well, not necessarily. You can pay to play without pay to win, and there's a
you
way
can
to do
it's
it.
just but there's also a
I mean,
predatory
Final
way
Fantasy
to do it.
14 is very much pay to play, but not pay to win. You pay a monthly subscription for the rights to play the game, but
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, paying for access, like what they currently do with World of Warcraft. That's a way to make the people playing your customers, you know, as opposed to free to play. Well, you're no longer the customer. Like it's now
Mhm.
just catering to people who will spend money on
Yeah.
stuff, like aiming at, well, whales, I guess is one way to put it. I don't love it. I think
Well,
I don't.
there's
It
another
might not
way.
necessarily be predatory, but it just change from an established system can be weary because it can go poorly.
Right. No, there's another way, and which is basically full aesthetics only item route.
Hmm.
So you don't get any benefits, barring psychological benefits, but like I don't want to jump into that. There's this whole thing in like game design where like they talk about like colors for teams and how statistically certain colors benefits and are they unfair? Like if we can prove that there is a correlation between like colors used versus like certain advantage. I'm not going to get into that because
Yeah.
I don't necessarily buy it. But if we're strictly speaking about aesthetics items that gives you no stat buffs, no changes in gameplay, absolutely no advantage, but you do pay to get it. And the prime example of that would be League of Legends. Like you can buy skin for your characters. You earn your characters, but you have to buy skin for the characters. And you know exactly what you're buying. It's not a gotcha. You don't pay like $5 and then like fingers crossed I get the skin. Like no, you just pay the amount and you get exactly what you pay for, which I respect.
Yeah.
I hate gotcha to such an immense degree that I cannot ever recommend like basically gambling to people.
Yeah.
But if you're paying for for a certain amount to get something and you are guaranteed to get it, you know what you're getting, you know exactly what you're paying for. The transaction is very transparent, and you get no actual benefits in terms of like your gameplay. Like it doesn't let you fight better somehow, right? There's no advantage against another person who didn't pay. That's all fine. That's and that's sort of like what I do respect about League of Legends like monetization model. But that's not pay to play. So now we're in this like limbo of like word descriptions. But back to the question, am I worried? No, not even remotely close to worried. I'm more worried about Japanese developer wanting to do more like Genshin Impact, and I'm worried about Activision. It's so far removed from my community that like I don't think there's an impact. Like for the games that I enjoy, the looming threat is Genshin Impact, not Activision.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah. So, and I do see some other chats here coming in and basically saying that in WoW you can already pretty much just buy gold with real world money, which in turn kind of makes it already kind of pay to play or pay to win anyway.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I
mean,
guess
in theory, I can just hire someone to play the game for me if that's what I want.
True.
So and just let me do the fun stuff, right? Like here, grind this. I'll pay you an hour, like however much an hour, and then just let me play the fun stuff once you're done with your work. You could do that.
Yeah.
Nothing's stopping anyone from doing that.
Well, anyways, I mean, last I heard, I think that there was some sort of injunction preventing that from moving forward for the time being, wasn't there?
Oh yeah.
Maybe I'm maybe
paying someone to play games for you.
No. I'm talking about the Activision Blizzard acquisition by Microsoft.
Yeah. I think like Sony and Nintendo, like all these other companies that like, no, you don't.
Yeah. I mean, so that's the other reason I'm not super concerned about it either. I mean, consolidation of, just the biggest game of Pac-Man of all time right now it's not to the benefit of consumers. It's for the benefit of larger corporations, and I don't love that. So that's what I'm overall just in principle not super a big fan of it, but I don't know what kind of far-reaching consequences it could have, but it's an interesting question to talk about for sure.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. And speaking too specifically to the concern of that model because of the acquisition somehow messing up with our ecosystem, at least here in the JRPG community, probably too far removed for that to ever matter to us.
Yeah. Yeah, if
Yeah.
Activision Blizzard made JRPGs, I would probably be. I'd have more at stake for sure.
Yeah. I am way more concerned about Square Enix throwing money into NFTs and all these other JRPG companies. Companies that mix JRPG, just salivating over Genshin Impact money.
Yeah.
That's way more concerning to me and way more closer to home than Activision.
So we have another one here from Francisco Lira, who says, "Hey guys, with all the games getting EOS this week, which games would you love? Which games do you love and cannot play anymore?" I'm guessing that means end of service. To me, it's
End of service.
Valkyrie Anatomia. It has some of the most gut-wrenching stories of the franchise.
Oh, that's a Valkyrie profile phone game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so a lot of these mobile games are hitting like end of service.
Yeah.
I think another one that I saw was like the Die Adventure mobile phone game. Like whoever thought that was gonna do well.
Well, I mean, mobile
yeah.
phones are. I mean, it's easy as a Westerner to be like, "Who thought that would ever do well?" But like, cell phone games do really well in Japan, depending on on the kind.
Absolutely. Just not that way. It's such a small like niche Dragon Quest like story that was popular like 30 years ago.
Yeah.
I don't think it could compete with the likes of,
they are
even
making
like
the new adaptation though, or they did make the new adaptation.
They did.
So
Yeah.
I could see why they'd want to capitalize on that for sure.
No, I get the company doing it. The company just wants that short-term money. I get it.
Yeah.
It's the players. Like, what, you didn't think they're gonna shut that down? What, you think they're gonna make that run for another 5-10 years? Like, no.
Oh, yeah. I see what you're saying, yes.
Yeah, no, I'm not questioning the companies. I'm questioning the players who are putting their time and money into it. And yes, and for anyone who is saying, hey, I don't put money into playing these games, first of all, someone does.
Yeah.
Okay, so, but also, if you're putting time into it, time is money. And that's time that you'll never get back. So unless you can console yourself in saying, hey, I'm just in there for that short-term experience, good on you. But if you're anyone who feels like I would have a healthy expectation to play this game for a couple years, like, no, that's only reserved for the most successful of them. Like FGO is still around, but
Yeah. Yeah. So I actually have never played a game as a service type of game.
You mean you never played Babylon Fails?
No, I never played that.
They even sent our survey. They wanted to.
I know. They made it look.
They
so
cared.
Pretty.
They wanted to know how they can improve.
but I've never played a single service game. So, unfortunately, I don't really have a whole lot I can contribute to that answer. But, I think that's just another kind of reason to seek out physical media, because one of the services that we're always relying on, especially right now, that it might not be the game as a service, but it is the service of the downloads, the servers that a lot of us are relying on for our digital copies of games. Physical media makes a big difference. It's very important. So,
That's right. And to our previous point about Steam, it hasn't happened yet, but it could happen. There's such a thing as too big to fail, right? Like,
sure.
it's Steam. It'll never happen.
But what if? Something like exactly. And what if one of the smaller ones went under? I mean, Good Old Games. I surely hope not, but they're a lot smaller. I could see that possibly happening. A lot more likely than Steam, at least from this perspective at this point in time. It would be the more likely scenario, but at least all of GOG's stuff is DRM free, which is great. So you're, as long as you have your own backups, that's fine. It's as good as having a physical copy.
That's true.
Something like the as long as your backups are good, that is. Something like what's the other big one? The people behind the other store that does free games every once in a while.
Epic.
Yeah, them.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
I mean, they've got such name recognition. How could I
Mhm.
forget that? But you know, if they wanted out of the game, if they at one point decided, you know what, everybody hates us because of Fortnite, the whole world's against us. Let's just cave. You know, we'll just bow out. Say, okay, Steam, you can have your monopoly back. You know, and they bow out. What does that mean
Mhm.
for you? Like, yeah, it's you
I
never know.
think they own Unreal Engine. So as
Yeah,
long as that's still a thing,
the company will probably be
you
fine.
know, yeah.
The service that they
Oh, that's
provide
true. Yeah.
might not always be. So, like, that's kind of what I'm saying is like, you can't always like, and especially because if you can just end of life a game at some point or any service, Nintendo taking down, you know, the Nintendo Switch, or I'm not Switch, but the
DS.
Nintendo DS
Yeah.
and the Wii
3DS
online,
or yeah.
you know, that's all fine and good as if you already have them downloaded. But if you didn't, you're hosed. If your Wii breaks because there's no account connectivity, like there's no way to like back that up, you know, you're hosed. There are so many
Yeah.
opportunities for being hosed here. So, anyways, that's the service that I'm more so concerned about than smartphone games at this time.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. That's a more imminent threat to us at least. But yeah, this is why I have all these physical copies behind me and elsewhere in my house. So for exactly this reason, I like to tell people the story that I can walk over to my Super Nintendo right now, plug in a cartridge from when I was a kid, and it will play. And that's like a thing that may not be the case anymore from like my nephews growing up. Like the stuff that they're getting today, once they're my age, they might not have that luxury, and it is a luxury.
Yeah.
Right. So don't take it for granted is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We have another one here from Duo Beard who just says, Baku, it's good to see you back from your vigilant work.
Good to see you too, Dual Beer.
Francisco Lira sent us a follow-up as well here, who says, I was actually talking about games as a service games that was closed recently, like Back for Blood, Rumbleverse, and Apex Mobile. He says, I think the live service game push may finally be slowing down. I sure hope that it's slowing down, but you never know. It could just be freeing up space for other service games.
Yeah, I'm reluctant to believe that.
Now, Invalid says, you know, they're shutting down games that have even a slight downturn in revenue. Like even if it's like starting to dip a little bit, then they're like, yep, cut it.
Yeah, no, I think they would.
Oh, wait. Duo Beard said vigilante work. I misread that. From your vigilante work.
Thank you. Vigilante work?
Yeah, thank you for the correction there, Duo.
Who am I hunting down? Am I like just kicking down doors and
Yep.
I did, fun fact, I did used to work for a federal law enforcement agency. So there's that. Yes, I will say nothing else about
Baku,
that.
If you're a cop, you got to tell me if I ask you if you're a cop, right?
I have to tell you, right? I have to tell you.
That's how this works.
I was never a cop. Let's just be real clear. But I did work for a. I'm not about to impersonate an officer. Okay, no, I was never, not a single day, never a cop. But I did work for a federal law agency. So there's that vigilante. Yeah, fun stuff. Like, dude, they're the work culture is crazy different. Let's tell you that. Anyways, yeah. Do we have anything else? Is that the last one?
I do believe that rounds out the comments that we've received so far for the day. So
much sad.
Yeah. So you know, you guys did get a nice 2.5 hour episode of HitPoint tonight. So if
2.5 hours?
2.5 hours. So if you like them extra long, make sure you drop a like on that button, or provide us a review on whatever podcasting platform of choice you happen to be enjoying us on. And we will see you guys on the next Sunday. Until then, have a great rest of your week, everybody.
Goodbye.